it's Melanie White here, back with another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I talk about relationships, dating over the age of 35. So I've been hearing a hot topic, and that topic is, should you date multiple men at one time? Now, some people refer to this as rotational dating, circular dating, having, a roster of men at one time. And when I say multiple men, I'm thinking of at least three men, anywhere from maybe 3 to 5 different men that you are dating all at one time. Now, men rotational date. I think a lot of us know that men will date multiple women at one time and then decide which one they would like to pursue. Okay. Now, I understand the concept of, well, okay, men are doing it, so why not women do it? And I'm not saying that you can't do it, but what I found is I've experienced both. I've dated multiple men at one time and focused on one, maybe max two. And I'm married almost 6 years now. August will be 6 years. And I found that dating one or two men works. And I'm going to tell you why in today's video. Okay, so in my 20s, I rotational dated, and I'm 42 now, and when I think back then, I didn't even know if it was called rotational dating or circular dating, but I just knew back then, I'd be there with my girlfriends and we would talk about, yes, like I have 4 different men on me, or I have 5 different men on me, and it was all about quantity. Right? It was all about how much men you had that was after you, right? Or how much numbers you had at the end of the night. It was so weird, but I just remember back then it was like the more the merrier. But when I think about it, is it really the more the merrier? Okay? Because first, you need to ask yourself, are these quality men? Do I even connect with these men that I'm dating? Right? I always will tell you that you always want quality over quantity. Okay. And, in my 20s, I rotational dated. And one thing I found was that when you're juggling, 3, 4, 5 different men, you need to have an amazing memory and I didn't. I didn't have an amazing memory. Often I would get caught in lies. And then men wouldn't take me serious, right? I want to share an example of a girlfriend of mine. And okay, I know a lot of people say it's my friend and it's not really their friend, it's them. But this was really my girlfriend. And this kind of shows exactly what I'm talking about. So I had a girlfriend. We were in our 30s at the time, probably early 30s, I would say. And she was rotational dating as me. She probably had like 3 different men at one time that she was dating and seeing and whatnot. And one of them she loved. Like she was really into him. He was great. They had a great connection. He, checked all the boxes on her list of what she was looking for in a mate. They had great time together. They spent a lot of time, great conversations, deep conversations, not just surface level stuff. He took her out all the time. She was having like the time of her life with this guy. And, she had another guy, and she kind of knew like he wasn't the one. Like this guy that she was spending all her time with, this guy took precedence. Like this was the one. And she was going to New York. She was going to New York. I'm in Toronto. We were in Toronto. She was going to New York for a business trip. And she told him that she was like leaving, let's say like on a Thursday, and she would be back, let's say on a Tuesday. But the thing is that she was not going to be back on the Tuesday. She was actually going to be back on the Monday. And the reason why she told that guy, let's just call him the main guy, the reason why she told him that is because she had planned to see the other guy that she wasn't so interested in, on the Monday. Okay? So just to kind of quickly summarize, she told the main one that I'm going on a business trip. I'll be back Tuesday evening. But really, she came back on the Monday because she was going to spend time with the other guy that she wasn't as interested in. And what happened was the main guy, I guess he wanted to surprise her and he wanted to pick her up. And I think she had told him that she was flying on WestJet and then she was just going to take an Uber home. And he was like, no, I want to surprise you. And she wasn't prepared for that. So, he was messaging her like, okay, you said you're going to be back Tuesday evening. What time is your flight? And she's like, oh my gosh, like she didn't check the flights, right? Because she was already back on the Monday. So here she is trying to scramble and find a flight. And then he's going on WestJet website to see when that flight is, and then he's messaging her and he's like, but wait a minute, there is no flight for WestJet at this time. Like, what are you talking about? You told me you were going on WestJet. And just to make a long story short, she got caught in that lie. Okay. She got caught in the lie and he immediately cut her off and it was done. And she was heartbroken because she thought this was like the guy. Like she thought this was the one. And because she was juggling, these other guys, she lost out on a great guy. So this is what I mean by, you know, are you focused on quality or are you focused on quantity? So I know at the time I was focused on quantity when I really should have been focused on quality. Okay. Lesson learned, right? Like if you juggle different men, it's going to take you longer to get to know each guy as well, right? Because when I started to slow down, I started to notice that I would take my time with each man, right? And with any guy that you're dating, right, you want to take that time to observe and get to know him, right? Just observe, listen, right? You don't want to do too much talking. You want to listen to get to know him, especially, if maybe you met him online and you don't really know much about him. Right now in the dating phase is to get to know him as much as possible. Now, I'd say probably after your third date or at least after a month or so, you have a pretty good indication of if he is your guy or not, right? I will always talk about discernment and the power of discernment, judging people well or having that insight, whatever you want to call it. But that is probably one of the most powerful things that you need to have when you're dating is that discernment of, okay, is this guy right for me or not for me? And what I started to do was I said, okay, I would date this guy, maybe after the first date, oh, okay, he seems fine. Second, third date, no, I don't think he's for me. And then I would move on to the next one. Okay. So that's why I say maybe one or two max, because if you're dating too many men at one time, you're not going to get to know them as quickly as possible. Like I said, like it's hard to juggle different men. Like I mean, I wasn't good at it. Like I honestly was not good at it. I found that I was kind of lying, constantly lying, right? Like, one guy is calling you, where are you or what are you doing? Oh, I'm out with friends. Or, oh, I have an appointment or I'm not available, but then that sounds cold and he's trying to get to know you. Or, you're putting your phone away. Well, I mean, you should put your phone away, but, or let's say you have your phone and it starts ringing, 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 and then you're like hiding the phone and it's kind of awkward. And I know he hasn't committed to you. It's just, I find that if it's just one, max two, you really have the time to get to know this guy and to have, deep conversations, because that's how, you get to know people. That's how you get to know men, right? And you want them to be able to open up to you and talk to you so you can really get to know them. So that was my little spiel on dating multiple men. I think, especially if you're over 35, one or two tops, take time to get to know the guy, weed the good from the bad. At our age, we have probably been on enough dates where we know exactly what we want. We kind of see red flags and, we quickly make a decision and move on to the next guy. One at a time, weed the good from the bad. And if he's not for you, let him go, right? Let him go. You don't want to keep him as a placeholder or be wasting your time or be wasting his time. So that was it. I hope you got value from this video. Please let me know your thoughts on what you think or your experiences on dating multiple men. I'd love to hear you share your stories, any tips. I would love to hear them all. Okay, and I will see you again in the next video. Ciao! Bye!